ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।
ओम
श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं।
करुणालयं
टुगेदर वी कैन डू नमामि भगवत्पादं
वत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं
शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं
शङ्कराचार्यं
केशवं
केशवं
बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्य
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे
भगवन्तौ
भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः
सदाशिवसमारम्भां
समारम्भां
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
वन्दे
वन्दे
गुरुपरम्पराम्।
गुरुपरम्पराम्
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मा
गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये
मूर्तये
नमः।
नमः।
ओके, अभी हम इसका अप्रोक्षानुभूति का प्रेयर करते हैं। दिख रहा है आपको?
हाँ जी, दिख रहा।
श्री हरिम परमानंदम
श्री हरिं परमानन्दम्
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम्
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
फिर हम वर्स नंबर 9 पे हैं, तो वो भी बोल देते हैं। संसार बंध निर्मुक्ति
संसार बंधन मुक्ति
कथं स्यान्मे दयानिधे।
कथं स्यान्मे दयानिधे।
इति या सुदृढ़ा बुद्धिः
इति या सुदृढा बुद्धिः
वक्तव्या सा मुमुक्षुता।
वक्तव्या सा मुमुक्षुता।
ठीक है, अभी हम इसमें ब्रीफली एटलीस्ट हेडिंग्स देख देते हैं और इसका मीनिंग देखते हैं। ये वर्स में बताई गई है कि संसार बंध निर्मुक्ति ही, freedom from the bondage of repeated birth and death. How can it be there for me? Huh? So the firm, strong desire expressed in the form of a prayer, O Lord, how will I gain release from this bondage of repeated birth and death? And when will it happen? This is called mumukshuta, desire for liberation. Then, of course, we all know that moksha is the actual desire behind all desires, right? Yes. Anita, you want to tell us about it? Why is moksha the desire behind all? How come moksha is the desire behind all desires?
गुरु मैं बोल नहीं सकती, ये बोले।
नहीं अच्छा देख, हाँ, मीनिंग देखो, हम लोग को जब इच्छा होती है, क्यों इच्छा होती है? इच्छा क्यों होती है?
क्योंकि वी आर लैकिंग समथिंग।
एग्जैक्टली,
कुछ कमी है, कोई कमी है।
ठीक है, और समझो हमें खुशी चाहिए। खुशी चाहिए तो हमें कितना खुशी चाहिए?
24 hours into 7।
ब्रह्मांड का खुशी, दिस मच खुशी फॉर ऑल टाइम। ठीक है, वही तो चाहते हैं। फिर क्या होते हैं, हमें लगता है कि मैं एक वो टीवी प्रोग्राम देख लूंगी, टीवी सामने दिख रही ना, इसलिए वो टीवी देख लूंगी तो मुझे खुशी मिल जाएगी। मैं गुलाब जामुन खाऊंगी तो मुझे खुशी मिल जाएगी, इति इति। सो वी आर हैविंग डिफरेंट डिजायर्स। what is behind those desires? What do I want? I want khushi, or I want security, or I want adequacy. But what I want is that khushi. It's not that I want the TV program or I want the gulab jamun. What I want is the khushi. And khushi I want 24/7. And this khushi 24/7 is what moksha is. So behind all the desires, what I'm actually desiring is good old moksha. Yeah. Okay. So that is what is the desire behind all desires. Then samsara is the cycle of birth and death. Okay. And here it is saying vinirmuktaha, we want to get free of this. This person who is a mumukshu says, I want to get free of this bondage of samsara. Iti. Hmm? Okay, then Swamiji says desires are based on wrong understanding of moksha, which we saw just now. Okay, same thing. He is saying the desire for uh, all desire is based on wrong understanding that I will get this 24 into 7 happiness or security from something else. That is why we have the desire, but that desire is that is based on wrong understanding, because we have not understood that what we want is this 24 into 7, and that is really residing in ourselves only. It is, in fact, we can't say residing in ourselves, we have to say it is me, iti. And therefore, this kind of there is a wrong understanding behind all our desires. Okay. Okay. And then he points out how the desire for moksha becomes the desire for knowledge. So we started off with, I want happiness 24 into 7, right? Then I understood that I cannot get it from things of the world. I cannot get it from people. I cannot get it from situations. I cannot get it from any of the outside thing. Then what is left? Only I am left, iti. So this 24 into 7, now I'm saying, is it centered on me? Satsang is saying it is centered on me. But I don't know. So I want to know now. Okay. How am I going to get this 24 into 7? And if it is centered on me, how is it centered on me? And therefore, the desire for this 24 into 7 happiness or security becomes the desire for knowledge. Iti. The person will want knowledge. Then Swamiji launches into a big, or this thing, oh my goodness, that liberation is the removal of a notion. Because there is no real bondage. Because supposing what Vedanta says is you are the happiness, right? Then if I am thinking that I will get moksha, how will I get moksha? If I think that I will get this moksha by standing on my head, doing some yoga or going to Swarga, iti, then that is a notion I have about how I'm going to get moksha, right? So that all those notions about how I will get moksha and about who I am, every single notion will have to be removed. Okay. So liberation is removal of a notion, especially the notions which are centered on oneself. The notion that, for example, today I was looking, after that, which is the other one we are doing? Upadesha Sahasra, it was so powerful, the negation chapter. So we all have a common notion, no? I am male, I am female. I am so many years old, like I will say I'm 66 years old. Now that is a notion as far as Vedanta is concerned, because the 66-year-old belongs to what? It belongs to the body, doesn't belong to me. So that's why Shastra is saying removal of all notions. Okay? Whatever you think you are, you can make a big list of them. पूरे लिस्ट बनाओ, ह्यूज लिस्ट होगा. वो सब जो भी आपने उधर डाला है, I am, and you have put some adjective there. I am male, I am female, I am old, I am fat, I am dark, I am fair, I am sad, I am happy. So many things we are adding over there. Every one of them, as far as Vedanta is concerned, is a notion, because they are not the true I. And what we have done is we have lumped the conditions of the body and the mind on this I. And therefore, Vedanta considers all this as notion. And so they say you have to remove all the notions and then you are already there anyway. Okay? You are already, you as the essence of the, of, you are there as your own essence, iti, the I am essence, you are there. You're not a vritti I am, but you are that which makes that vritti shine, iti. So Vedanta is pointing that out. So liberation is the removal of a notion. That was a very nice story he gave about the cow, na? So Guru and
Yeah.
Shishya were living together, and then one cow was, he could not tie the cow because the rope was missing. So he told the Guru, what shall I do? This cow will go away. I'm not able to tie. So Guru said, okay, you just make the motion, you make the motions of trying. आपके हाथ को हिला दो as though you're tying. And this cow, तो उसने ऐसे किया, and the cow thought he was tied.
Yes.
Next day, all the, but he's not really tied. Next day, all the cows are going again for grazing. तो ये cow नहीं हिल रहा है. So he went running to Guru कि देखो, he is not moving. Guru said, did you untie the cow? He said, but I never tied him in the first place. No, but you made the motion of tying. No, now you make the motion of untying. So meaning even the notion is just a notion. It's not the truth, I think. So look at that. The notion is created in the count that I am tied, and until that notion goes, the cow will not move. On page 120, okay. So new notion must be created that I am untied. Then the cow feels free. This is very, very, because actually Vedanta is pointing out you are free because you are Satchidananda, which is always free. You are not tied. Now, when you remove all these notions, you are very much there and you discover yourself as free. Iti. Okay. And the notion goes only when ignorance goes. Okay. Okay. That we agree. The notion will go when ignorance goes. What is opposed to ignorance? Only knowledge is opposed to ignorance. And therefore, the notion goes when knowledge is there. Yeah? How will the ignorance go? When you get knowledge. Is that knowledge, what was his name? Tadatmananji made a very nice observation. That is the knowledge that you will remove this notion, will remove the ignorance. Is it only information? Like now we are studying, we have information, lots of information about Atma. Okay? He says, no, it is well assimilated knowledge. It is the clear recognition of oneself as being independent of the body, mind, or whatever notions we may have. It is the very clear, ascertained recognition, understanding, discovery, whatever you want to call it, of yourself being independent of the body, mind, iti. So here, of course, in this verse, it's about talking about who is the mumukshu, is the one who has got this intense desire. Okay, he's got no other desire. He has got this intense desire. And so, okay. Now we come to desire is not will based. So, Bhatti uncle can read. Hey, this, oh my goodness, एक minute. हाँ, YouTube पे है. Okay. Yeah.
Desire is not will based. Desire is not something we can will. We can use our will to create tranquility of the mind, to discipline ourselves, and to gain endurance. But desire does not involve will. Desire has to arise on its own. If that is so, how can the desire be part of the qualification? A qualification is something that we can cultivate. You can expect someone to cultivate tranquility of mind, discipline the senses, the endurance, because those are well based. but one cannot will a desire to arise in the mind. The desire for moksha has to arise. So all we can do is to cultivate a given disposition of the mind. Different kinds of desires will arise in a tamasic mind, a rajasic mind, and a sattvika mind. Desire for knowledge will arise only in a sattvika mind, whereas desire for pleasure will automatically arise in rajasic mind. And desire for hurting others often arise in the tamasic mind. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Ashtika, Sampatti work to create a disposition of mind wherein desire for moksha arises. Until then, we have to keep on working.
Yeah. In Viveka Chudamani, it is said, I'll just read that Sanskrit part. Vairagyam cha mumukshutvam tivram yasya tu vidyate tasmin evartavantaha syuhu phalavantaha shamadayah. You can continue, uncle. Mumukshutva.
Mukshutva, which is another form of the word mokshatva. Mukshutta. Should be
Mumukshuta.
Tivra, intense. The test for whether one has shama, dama, etc. is to see whether mumukshata has arisen. We keep on working to make our vairagya and mumukshata strong.
Uncle, 1 minute. What do you think will make the vairagya strong? What can we do to help ourselves to make our vairagya a little more strong? Anita, you can also think about it.
Yes,
The worldly things will not give me only a momentary sukh.
Exactly.
Not a permanent sukh.
Keep seeing that fact.
Repeating seeing the fact.
Keep on seeing that fact, that okay, worldly things will give only this kind of momentary sukham. And that momentary sukham has also got 3 defects in it. You remember something? I remember what Paramartha Manji said. Bandhakatvam, atriptikaratvam, and one more is there, some 3 defects are there.
It is accompanied by dukkha.
I don't remember what this thing is. So bandhakatvam, atriptikaratvam, meaning it causes bondage, okay, and it doesn't make you fully satisfied. It's always accompanied with dukkha. Iti. So seeing that fact again and again can help to make the vairagya a little bit stronger. Yeah, and we need it stronger actually. So that's what he says, that we keep on working to make our vairagya stronger. And once vairagya is stronger, I think mumukshata automatically will become stronger. Iti. Continue, uncle.
These are 2 external signs. Viveka is within yourself, but vairagya displays in your behavior. This samadhi ashtaka sampatti.
Samadhi shatka sampatti.
Samadhi shatta
sampatti
is within you, but its result is the desire for moksha. Vairagya is the result of viveka, and mumukshata is the result of samadhi ashtaka sampatti.
Shatka. No, actually samadhi, and then you can put a comma. Shatka, that means the sixfold wealth, shama, dama,
right?
Uprati,
titiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhanam. Now, this is very interesting for me, how he's saying mumukshata is the result of samadhi shatka sampatti. That I will have to think about it a little bit, because I thought mumukshata would be the result of vairagyam actually. Means vairagya strong hogi, or तो ऑटोमेटिकली मुमुक्षुता आ जाएगी। पर ये समाधि षटक संपत्ति कैसे उसका ये है, ये मुझे थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा। अंकल, एनी थॉट्स कि व्हाई ही इज सेइंग समाधि मुमुक्षुता इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ समाधि षटक संपत्ति? ये भगवान,
In spite of all these six folds, we are still interested in the worldly things.
दैट इज वैराग्य, नो अंकल?
Vairagya.
वो स्वामी जी
It will
बोल रहा है कि
increase vairagya.
मुमुक्षुता इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ शम दम तितिक्षा एटसेट्रा, whereas I would have felt mumukshutvam is a result of increase in vairagyam. ये शमदमा में उसका रिलेशनशिप विद मुमुक्षुता मुझे बहुत समझ नहीं आई, मैं स्वामी जी को लिख के पूछूंगी। ओके, नेक्स्ट इज विवेका इज द कॉज एंड वैराग्य इज द इफेक्ट। आप ही बोलो। हाँ,
Viveka is the cause and Vairagya is the effect. Similarly, Samadhi Ashtak Sampatti.
समाधि, अंकल 1 मिनट, उधर कॉमा डालो, समाधि कॉमा,
Samadhi, comma.
देन षटक।
Shatka Sampatti.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, समाधि षटक
is the cause and Mumukshutva is the effect.
Acha, somebody's mind has become tranquil. They have got sense organs are in control. That person has got uparati. The person has got titiksha. The person has got shraddha. The person has got samadhanam. And therefore the person will have mumukshuta. Maybe, I don't know. मुझे तो वैराग्य ही लग रहा है। Anyway, मैं स्वामी को पूछूंगी ना।
Vairagya and Mumukshutta will be intense when Sham, Dam, Shama, Dama, etc. have done their job.
Which is true actually in a way, because
That's right.
Shama Dama chahiye, Shama, your mind becomes tranquil. Nahi to you're running after all kinds of things, no? Mind is not tranquil, you are still busy running after everything. And Dama also means mind is not tranquil, you are running after things. Iti, okay. Anita, qualifications are essential for pramana to work.
Yes. The author has now concluded the discussion of the fourfold qualifications. Vedantic teachers and texts make it a point to talk about the qualifications because for the knowledge to take place, you need a given disposition or purity of mind. Such a mind equipped with these fourfold qualifications. That is why the teacher used the term
Sadbihi. Sadbihi in verse number 2.
Sadbihi in verse 2.
अरे verse 2 लिखना पड़ेगा।
Satpurusha.
एक मिनट ना।
verse 2.
चलो verse 2 देख लेते क्या था।
हाँ, ये है ना। Sadbhi. Sadbirev. It is on page 33.
Aparokshanubhuti prochate moksha siddhaye sadbiresha. Okay.
Sadbiresha.
Prayatnena vikshaniya muhurmuhu. Sadbihi.
Satpurusha means a saintly person. One who possesses these qualifications is a saintly person, regardless of whether knowledge is there or not. The fourfold qualification. With the quality of saintliness, it is not very difficult to become a wise person. Therefore,
Sadbireva prayatnena vikshaniya muhurmuhu.
You should dwell upon the text of the Aparokshanubhuti again and again with a mind that enjoys these qualifications. We said that Vedanta is a pramana, valid means of knowledge. Just as the eyes are pramana for revealing colors and forms, and the ears are pramana for knowing sound, Vedanta is the pramana for knowledge of the self. But what does it mean when Tattvam Asi is said by the teacher? and yet knowledge does not take place in the student. Does it mean that Vedanta is not a pramana? If you open your eyes and an object is there, contact occurs between the eyes and the object. Perception of the object takes place without any effort because of it does not require your will. Knowledge also should not require your will. It should take place. When the pramana is operated and the object of knowledge is there is a contact between the two and the knowledge should take place. The pramana here is the statement Tattvam Asi.
Let's
That
1 minute wait. You know what pramana means, no? What does pramana mean?
Pramana is the means by which we gain the knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So when he says, when the pramana is operated, when the means of knowledge is operated, like for example, your eye is being used and the object of knowledge is there. Okay. Maybe this phone is there. Object of knowledge is there. In my hand is the phone. Okay, just 1 minute. Blur my background. Okay. This phone is there. So eye is there, the means of knowledge. I'm looking at the object. The knowledge should take place. Yeah. Now here the pramana, the means of knowledge is the Vedic statement.
Tattvam Asi. That thou art. The statement is there. Atma is there. And yet knowledge does not necessarily take place. This means either that Vedanta is not a pramana or that something in addition to Vedanta is required.
Before we do this next portion, we in this Upadesha Sahasri, we had a very beautiful section, Anita. It was where Swamiji, it was a section on Neti Neti. And there Swamiji pointed out how that if this knowledge has to take place, there is a method, something has to come first. You don't say Tattvamasi directly. You first do Neti Neti. So each person has to themselves do that Neti Neti and say, I am not the body or its qualities. I am not the mind or its qualities. I am not my roles or their, good things and bad things. I am none of this. And then something is left after you have not done this neti, 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 and that each one has to do depending on whatever their notions are. Then something is still left. You still can't negate yourself. Iti, and that is when Tattvamasi will work. Iti, and that probably is the purity of mind. What is required is purity of mind. You can look at that.
What is required is purity of mind. Vedanta becomes a pramana when it is operated by the teacher and when the student possesses purity of mind, also known as the fourfold qualifications. In the Brahma Sutra, it is said, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, meaning that the deliberation on Brahman must be carried out, whether the fourfold qualifications are carried out after the fourfold qualifications are acquired. When vichara of the Shastra is done under those conditions, knowledge takes place. This is why the Vedantic teacher always makes the point that the student's mental preparation is equally important.
And here what happens is, who knows our mental situation better than ourselves? No, we only know what our mental situation is.
Yes.
So each one will have to do their own, work on that. Okay. Now I will read.
Okay.
The nature of a thing can never change. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavaha.
Vidyate.
As we saw, the desire for moksha becomes a desire for knowledge only when it is clearly understood that bondage is the product of ignorance. The simple reason is that if bondage is real, meaning that I am really limited, there is no way to change it. The basic rule is that the nature of a thing can never be changed. Prakritehe anyata bhavah na katanchit bhavishyati. There is no way to change the prakriti or nature of a thing in any way. This is the rule that is applied here. If bondage is real, there is no way to remove that bondage. Very important to understand this, you know. Why do we say bondage is not real?
हम इमेजिन ही करते ना कि हम इस
जितनी भी हमारी इम्प्रेशंस हैं, ये जितनी भी हमारी धारणाएं हैं, they are all notions are there.
Exactly.
And they are all
false notions.
Yeah, and they are taken for real.
And they are taken for
real. Yeah. If the bondage were real, however, I would not have any problem with it. One does not have a problem with one's nature. One may complain that my eyes see two things where there is only one, for example, but one cannot simply complain that the eyes see because it is their nature to see. If limitation were my nature, I would be comfortable feeling limited. The fact is that I am not comfortable feeling limited means that it is not my nature. The fact that I am not comfortable feeling unhappy or that I cannot tolerate anybody controlling me means that these cannot be my nature. In fact, all my desires reveal in one way or another my love for freedom and happiness. This means that freedom must be my nature, and yet I feel bound. The reason for this feeling must be ignorance. Uncle Ji?
The only problem.
The only problem is ignorance. This should be very clear. Vedanta becomes important when knowledge becomes important. And knowledge becomes important when I know that ignorance is the only problem. Otherwise, we spend the whole day trying to solve the problems. This person and that, this person said, that person said, that fellow did this, this happened, this did not happen, and so on, because we see them as problems. In fact, ignorance is the problem, and everything else is the situation. There is no problem other than ignorance. When one sees this, one treats things as situations rather than as the problems. The clarity is extremely important. This is
the Sudrida Buddhi.
Sudrida Buddhi.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, Sudrida Buddhi.
The strong desire to find out how and when knowledge will take place. This is also expressed in Vivek Chudamani when the student asks, Ko nama bandha katham esha agataha katham
pratisthasya
katham vimukshaha. What is the bondage? Where does it come from? Why it is persisting? And how to get released from that? Why are these fourfold qualifications prescribed for us? When these fourfold qualifications are there, what should I do with them? What is their use or purpose? This is told in the next verse.
Yeah. So we look at that. Verse 10. So we are coming to what Swamiji has made a separate section called inquiry, vichara. Ukta sadhana yuktena.
Ukta sadhana yuktena.
Vichara purushena hi.
Vichara purushena hi.
Kartavyo jnana siddhyartha. Kartavyavyartham.
Kartavyo jnana siddhyartham.
Atma atmana shubha ichchita. Shubhamichchita.
Atmana shubhamichchita.
So word meaning ukta sadhana yuktena. Yuktena, endowed with ukta sadhanana, the aforementioned qualifications. Vicharaha, inquiry. Purushena, by the person. He, indeed. Kartavya, should be done. Jnana siddhyartham, for the sake of acquiring knowledge. Of what? Atmanaha, of oneself. And this itself is shubham, auspicious. Okay? Ichchata, one who desires. Inquiry in order to acquire knowledge should indeed be done by the one who has the desire for one's own well being and who is endowed with the aforementioned qualifications. Unconditional happiness is the paramount desire. This inquiry is done by one who has the ichcha, the desire, for the shubha, well being of Atma, oneself. Shubha means that which is auspicious or good. In Sanskrit, we say Paramananda Rupa Mangala, auspiciousness in the form of supreme happiness. Happiness is auspicious, freedom is auspicious, and knowledge is auspicious. Their opposites, unhappiness, bondage, and ignorance, are inauspicious. This describes someone who desires his or her own well being, which is moksha, liberation, which is ananda. This ananda is the only purushartha. We say that we seek moksha, but what we are seeking is unconditional happiness. Any condition means bondage. So, unconditional happiness is what we want, and that is what we call moksha. Uncle Ji?
The need to act on this desire. What should be done by the person with this desire? He must make an effort, Atmanaha Gyan Siddhi Artham, to acquire knowledge of the self. The knowledge is Brahm Atma Ekya Buddha. Knowledge of the identity between the self and the Brahman. The knowledge that I am Brahman. The knowledge that we want is the knowledge that I am ever free. You can be ever free only when you are free from every limitation in terms of time, place, attributes. This can be only infinite Brahman. The word Brahman itself reveals that it is infinite. Brahmatvat Brahma. That which is vast is Brahman.
Actually, it's Brihatvat.
Brihatvat. Sorry. Brihatvat Brahman. That which is vast to Brahman. Brahman is unqualified bigness, meaning it is free from all limitations. I want to be limitless, so I want to attain oneness or identity with Brahman.
Yeah, very nice. Swamiji has said here, you can be free only when you are free from every limitation in terms of time, place, or any attributes. And this can be only infinite Brahman, iti. Okay? Okay. So, I want to be, do you agree with that? That I want to be limitless? That the basic human ichcha is that we don't want any limitation at all. Yeah? Okay. So then, uncle, you can continue, no, with this? Okay.
Knowledge is gained through inquiry. The means to gain the knowledge is not told. The author says, Vicharaha Kartavyaha. Inquiry must be done. Any knowledge arises from vichar, inquiry or investigation. So
अन्वेष्टव्यः स
अन्वेष्य
विजिज्ञासितव्यः. अन्वेष्टव्यः सः विजिज्ञासितव्यः.
It is to be investigated. There must be a desire to know it.
Yeah.
Anveshana means investigation. When we want to know anything, we ask, what is it? What is its source? What is it made of? What it does, and so on. This is how we seek to understand something. The process of inquiry is called vichara. It is the means of any knowledge. That is what a scientist typically does when exploring further into the source of a thing. The vichara is kartavya, to be done. Knowledge cannot take place without vichara. Who should do this? The one who is ukta sadhana yukta. Ukta sadhana yukta. Endowed with the sadhana, spiritual means, which we have been discussing, namely viveka, vairagya, samadhi,
shatka,
sampatti, and mumukshurta. As you gain these qualifications, the desire to know will arise in the mind. When the desire arises, you should adopt a means to fulfill that desire. The appropriate means is vichara. To fulfill the desire to know Brahman, one should deliberate upon Brahman. So this verse emphasizes the need for vichara. The Tikakara raises a possible objection here. Niyamaha kutaha. Why is there such a rule? You say that vichar has to be done for knowledge to take place. But could not one do something else? The word kartavya, to be done, looks like a niyam, rule. Why is it a rule? The next verse explains this to us together with the example.
We'll just read the next word and we can stop. Notpadyate vina jnanam.
Notpadyate vina jnanam.
Vicharenanya sadhanaihi.
Vicharenanya sadhanaihi.
Yatha padartha bhanam hi.
Yatha padartha bhanam hi.
Prakashena vina kvachita.
Prakashena vina kvachita.
So there it is said, na utpadyate, does not arise, vina, without jnanam, without knowledge, vicharena, by inquiry, anya sadhanaihi, by other means, just as pada artha bhanam, objects are perceived, he indeed, prakashena, by light, vina kvachita, not under any conditions. Knowledge does not arise by any other means other than inquiry, just as objects are not perceived under any conditions other than by light. Very nice. And with that, I think we have done about 40, it's going to be 6 o'clock. If you feel you can continue, we can continue. Otherwise, we can stop.
We can stop, Guruma, because I have a class also.
This
Friday.
Friday is your this thing. Okay. Om Purnamada. No, Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Asato Ma Satkamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Anyway, at least